Welcome back to another episode of Pixel Punks. I'm Miles.
I'm Scott.
And we're playing Purrfect Date again.
So now all we can do is research, I guess.
Yeah, time to piss some kitties off. We broke McMurphy's heart.
So we got two options. Which one?
Let's go with 16 this time.
Well, let's see what they say. We can pick based on what the description is. We don't have to do the one we select. Field trip or organize some samples.
Let's organize some samples.
That probably won't piss off any cats.
Yeah, I hope not. Today, I'm in the lab doing flora research. It's not the most exciting job, but if I keep my head down, I can get through it quickly enough. It really just consists of unpacking the new samples of plants and flowers that the professor and I have collected on our foraging expeditions, and logging them into the database of organic substances on the computer. Most of them are commonplace plants that grow abundantly in the forest, but occasionally we come across something more rare, exotic even. One of the samples I'm looking at today is Calendula incana maritima, which is very interesting indeed. I can't help speculating that it's been cultivated in the marigold's little greenhouse and then transplanted to open ground. I'm distracted momentarily by the sound of clinking glass. I turn to see the beautifully manicured paw of a sphinx cat tapping on a beaker, nudging it perilously close to the edge of the counter. Boots, stop that! You're not supposed to be in here! You're supposed to be doing something that no cat would be involved. She laughs as though I've told a joke.
That's a frightfully pretty flower. Calendula incana maritima, if I'm not mistaken.
You've never ceased to amaze me. Boots, how on earth did you know that?
Why, I make it my business to know all about rare and valuable works of art.
Art?
Why not? It has been created like a sculpture or a painting. The marigolds are true artists in the garden.
Ah, I wondered if they had something to do with this. It's so unusual, even its natural swampy habitat. But to have it growing here in the forest is very out of the ordinary.
Yes, its properties are extraordinary too, human.
Well, I'm quite new to botanical science, so I probably don't know the half of it. Why don't you fill me in?
Although I'm always happy to facilitate your learning, human, I simply can't stay here for a moment longer. The air is so stale, don't you find?
I ignore her sideways glance and upturned nose.
Let's go to the beach and drink some coconut water, and I'll tell you everything you need to know.
Snoots, I'm not going anywhere until I finish this.
Don't be ridiculous. You can tinker about it here any time, but the sun will be on in an hour or two.
I'm not tinkering. This is my job. If I don't get it done, the professor will want to know why.
Then explain to him you had better things to do.
Oh, snooty booty, I won't tell you again if he catches you here. Popper will cage you.
Be careful with that flower, human. It doesn't do to inhale that fragrance too deeply.
Oh, it's one of those. What? I turn to ask why and see her flounce out, knocking the beaker with a swish of her tail as she does. You did that on purpose! But she's gone, leaving me to clear up the broken glass. Damn it, snooty booty! Jesus. That went by really fast.
Yeah, let's do the other research too. Why not? Let's max out our stats.
Once you complete your research, your time on Cat Island will come to an end. Have you seen everything you wanted to see?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is just the first ending. Alright, so...
Today I'm off on a field trip of sorts with the professor. I can't wait to see what he's planning to show me. Alright, Professor, are you ready? Professor Popper told me to be ready early and dressed for hiking. As we're doing field work this morning, I'm not sure that I have anything that would pass for hiking gear, to be honest. Some sturdy shoes would be good. Oh well, lab coat and trainers it is then. As usual. A message from the professor lights up my catalog.
Set to go? I'm waiting outside my tent.
Oh boy.
Ah, this guy! Are you ready for our fieldwork today?
Yes, of course. Professor, may I ask where we're going?
Somewhere I think you'll find very interesting.
The professor hands me a backpack.
Here, take this bag!
It's very full but surprisingly light. Hopper has set off at a brisk pace, calling back to me over his shoulder.
This way, this guy!
I run to catch up to him. After some serious walking with me struggling to keep up, the professor stops abruptly and listens.
Do you hear that?
There's a distant sound of bubbling water.
We're almost there!
That sounded like running water, not bubbling water. Secretly, I'm relieved, as I don't think I could go much further.
Just a little climbing.
Climbing. I hide my dismay. Where does he get his energy from?
It's just at the top there! It's not as difficult to climb as it looks.
They're doing something with energy. He's an old man, he should not have this energy. We are in front of an almost vertical rock
I think he's
face.
gonna kill you.
Oh.
Just copy me.
He clambers up expertly. I manage to find a spot that will support my foot and start to climb. I make little progress before slipping and falling flat on my bum. I try again. This time I take it slow. Again I fall. What happened to the benefits of catification to the others keep going on about? The professor notices I'm having trouble and holds a hand out for me. I manage to climb up just enough to take hold of him, and he lifts me the rest of the way. His strength is impressive. Curious, even.
Not a fan of climbing, eh? I think that it's impossible to complete the antidote on your first playthrough. Because earlier in the game, they said something like, you collected the research from the previous person who was catified. And so you probably have to play through again to complete it based on your research. So it's probably inevitable catification for like maybe the first or second playthrough. That's what I think is going to happen.
Oh boy.
It's going to be like second playthrough is when you can maybe cure it.
That's a good theory. And remember, there was like 4 different characters that we could choose from at the beginning.
And it might exempt him from being able to choose again.
Yeah, okay. I would like to see that happen. Can't say I've done much of it, Professor.
Come along then, I can get you there.
He pretty much pulls me all the way to the top and then leads me to the entrance of it. I'm useless as a climber, apparently. Entrance of a small cave. The sound of running water is very loud now. I instantly see why. A natural spring has cut its way through the rock and created a beautiful cascade of sparkling clear water. It looks delicious. I kneel down without thinking and begin to drink. It tastes amazing. That was a bad call. I'm guessing that was a bad call.
That's your cat brain coming in.
As I come up for breath, I see the professor looking at me with suspicion.
You should know better. It's never wise under any circumstances to ingest something that is unproven, but here on this island it would be prudent to exercise more caution than usual.
I feel embarrassed at my lack of consideration. Yes, of course, sir. I wasn't thinking. I felt so thirsty and it looked so good.
I do understand. Many have made the same error.
Oh.
Fortunately for you, this is tried and tested for safe consumption. It's good, don't you think?
Oh, many have made the same error. That's telling.
How is it an error if it's okay?
Yeah. My body feels suddenly re-energized. I feel like I could climb any wall. It's incredible. I feel fantastic. What's in it?
We don't know. That's why we're here. We need more samples. We've been studying this water for months now, and we still know very little about it. Check your bag.
Open my bag.
Is this your card?
It's full to the brim with empty plastic bottles.
We'll need to fill all of these with water. We're going to need as much as we can carry.
Is this your card? I do as he says. By the time all the bottles are full and back in my bag, it weighs a ton with an E. But I can't...
It's a metric ton.
But I feel like I can't lift anything. The effect of the water is powerful. Oh wait, I feel like I can lift anything. There we go. The professor has also packed his own rucksack with bottles.
That should do us for now. Let's get these back.
As we make our way down the rock face and back to camp, I have no problem keeping up with the professor. I feel like I could run all the way. However, as we get closer to home, I start to feel the effect wear off. My bag becomes unbearably heavy. The final limp into camp is torture. I need to rest. Curious. Saving. Uh-oh. Come to the forest to gather my thoughts. This morning I noticed another change in my appearance. Up until now it's been easy to cover up my transition. It didn't even show us having any transitions happening. I just had to keep on top of removing the excess body hair. Oh. Even the stub of a tail that appeared a few days ago hasn't been a problem. Who'd see it? But this new development is definitely a turning point. How am I going to explain the fact that my pupils have turned into vertical slits? I can't risk anyone seeing me like this, so I'm going to hide out for a while and see what happens.
Here, spread it here. The shade is perfect.
She's indicating a small spot on the sand beneath a large palm tree for our midday nap. I begin to spread the old blanket I've been dragging behind me. It's the one I used to have on my bunk when I lived in a tent. That memory is beginning to fade a little around the edges. Oh boy, what happened? I still recall how conflicted I felt, though I knew I wanted to be with Snooty, but I had a strong urge to keep working on the antidote. Eventually, the decision was made for me. I found it too difficult to remember things in the lab. I kept making mistakes. Then I just sort of allowed myself to sink into my transition. It was quite gentle, and the reward was worth any problems. What?
Adorable.
Yes, this bit of shade is perfect. Just like you. But really, Snoots, I don't know why you need this whole thing. The sand is so soft and warm. Also, it creeps me out a bit. It reminds me.
For goodness sake, this guy. You've been a cat for 5 minutes and already you know what's best for us. May I remind you that you have fur to protect your skin, but mine is exposed and far more delicate.
I suppress a giggle. Yes, of course, my love. Oh, this is... oh. You have skin like the wings of a butterfly.
Yes, and I have no idea why that amuses you so.
I'm just happy. You make me happy.
Well, you could make me very happy right now.
Name it. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you. Look at his face. He's just like, what?
You really ought to be more mindful of those rash declarations.
I mean it! Just name it! Anything!
Well, fortunately, I have a very kind and humble nature, so I shan't take advantage of your simplicity. All I want is that you fan me with a palm leaf.
I look around until I find one I can comfortably curl my tail around. This isn't nearly as easy as it used to be.
But practice makes perfect, my dear. Perfect.
We settle down in the peace and quiet of the afternoon, me gently wafting the palm leaf over the snoozing Snoots. How much more blissful could life be? I'm half tempted to warn the new research assistant to just throw in the towel from the start and join us. But I suppose they have their own journey's end, and I'm so glad I found mine. You called it, man. You called it.
Chapter 1.
In a relationship
Nice.
with Snooty Booty. 3
Okay.
successful dates. Ending achieved. Frisson.
Frisson. Frisson. Yeah. So go to the main menus to check out the endings. And how many did we get? Just this one?
I think it's just one.
1 out of 18. So is that like 3 endings per character? Yeah. Free song.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Frisson and friction.
I wonder. We probably had to do badly on the romancing.
Yeah. No romancing. Alright, well, that's the first playthrough of Purrfect Date wrapped up. And yeah, I definitely want to find out what happens if we play differently. And see if we can get an antidote. We might try for that ending next. Try and see if we can cure the catification. But yeah, this is a fun game. It's entertaining. But yeah, I'm Scott.
And I'm Miles.
And we'll see you in the next episode of Pixel Punks.
Thanks for watching.